morning. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society Net on the 08 machine. I'm Dave, WW7ATS, Western Washington Amateur Television Society, is a group of amateur radio enthusiasts that take to the airways with fast scan television. We have a repeater located up on Cougar Mountain and transmit on 70 centimeters. It's a crossband repeater and spits out images at 1.2 gigahertz. We're also on YouTube with our nets held Wednesdays and Saturdays between 8 and 9 o'clock. Find out where we're located. Google WW7ATS. Google WW7ATS. That'll take you to our homepage where you'll see the frequencies we operate on. And also a link to get us to YouTube streaming that's held during our nets. Also, we'd like to thank the CTAC Repeater Association for letting us use WW7SPR 0.08 repeater 147.08 for our voice transmission during our net meetings. So with that, I'll pause. This is Dave, KD7ZYM, in case anybody has emergency traffic or needs to make a contact before our net gets fully underway. Again, this is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net on the 08 machine. I'm Dave, KD7ZYM. So far checked into our net by a video link is Ron, K87QKU, Bob, K9PQ, Richard, K7ITX, Wade, W7ITL, Kim, M7QO, and myself, Dave, KD7ZYM. Is there anybody else that would like to check in at the net this evening? Okay, we'll go with what we have currently. Let's start off the net with Ron, 87QKU on this chilly evening.
Okay, I see Bob is on there too, K9PQ. So anyway, well, good evening to those that are here tonight. Good evening, Dave. This is KD7QKU. I'm over in Tacoma. So I guess I'd start off by saying I talked to Lee, and well, Rob mentioned he might run a plot, but anyway, Lee had run a plot, I guess, once before. It's either my house or Wade's house. I'm not sure, and I didn't question Lee, but anyway, it looks like I have a line of sight, so it might work here, and that'll be nice. I asked my wife a couple weeks ago what she thought about me putting up a little desk in our master bedroom and putting my stuff in there, and she said that would probably be all right. So I didn't put in a little desk, but today I put up a little folding table. And then I went out to the storage shed, and with a ladder, and I got down all my boxes and cut them open and started going through, and I found all my ATV stuff. And I also found a bracket to put on the wall to hang the TV set out on the patio. I was looking for that. I was glad to find that. So as soon as it quits freezing, I'll put the TV set up there. So I guess that's enough for now. So back to the group, KD7QKU.
KD7QKU, let's go to Bob, K9PQ.
Okay, just getting my video switched in. It looks like Wade is up right now. Maybe my YouTube's behind. Good evening to everybody. Good to be back. I had someone here on Saturday, a friend of mine who actually was going through some trouble, and I needed to be there to help him out. So, but it's good to be back with you guys tonight. And, it was a beautiful day today, but chilly. I didn't get out a whole lot, but it was nice to see the sun out.
K9PQ. Let's go to Richard, K7ITS in Kent.
Put some light on the subject. Alright. Hi everybody. So anyway, yeah, gosh, well, we hit a low this morning of 32 degrees, and when I looked outside, it was just, everything was all white and frosty. So I suspect the surface temperature was even lower than 32. Right now we're at 36, and had a bright, beautiful sunny day, but the breeze was biting cold. It was very deceiving, inside of my full southerly exposure with all the windows and the blinds pulled all the way open. It just warms the house right up like a summer day. And Mika, likes to go for a walk. And so we went out for a walk, but boy, I don't think she realized how cold it was going to be, nor did I. So it was a very short walk, let me put it that way. Anyway, didn't do a heck of a lot. Yesterday I did shop for a new car battery, and I'm inclined to probably buy it from Costco. I haven't got the price from the dealer yet, but for $99 plus tax and the core, it's probably going to beat the dealer by, well, we'll see. I like the dealer a lot. It's a family-owned company from right here in Kent, so I'm, I don't know. I'm going to be giving them enough money when I have the truck serviced, so I suspect the battery isn't going to amount to hardly a drop in the bucket compared to what a new control module is probably going to cost. I suspect I'm in a $1,000 ballpark for getting the electronics fixed in the truck. So anyway, we'll just keep rolling right along. K7ATS, K7ITS. Back to net control.
K7ITS. Richard, thanks for that. Let's go to Wade in Tacoma, W7ATS.
This round's going to be a little short for me because I didn't take any notes and I was trying to fix something. So let's just see. I'll just give you an update on myself. Just a second here. This week's been pretty busy, helping a friend out that owns a eye clinic in Seattle, and helped him move from his old office to his new office. And I had built him a brand new server, so I've been working on that all week and getting that all working. Tonight was working on their VPN. So besides that, this is really busy at work. Had two scares at work. I thought I was going to have to start an incident, because I work in security. But they were both false positives, so just almost gave myself a heart attack twice today. I think we'll share a little bit more on the next round. This is W7ITL, back to that.
W7ITL, thanks for that. Let's go to Covington. Jim, N7QO.
N7QO, thank you, Dave. Well, good evening, everyone. The computer with the camera. I'm out in the shack right now, and so I can see everyone, but I'm not sending any pictures. Yeah, it's definitely cold out there. I walked outside a little bit earlier. It looked pretty, and it was kind of pretty when I walked between the house and the mailbox. But then the wind came up as I was walking from the mailbox back to the house, and man, it was cold. It's a little chilly outside when your pets run back to the house. And it's not even that cold in this part of the country. I guess everything is relative. Getting a battery for a truck from like Costco or something, that's probably a worthwhile thing to do. They've got good guarantees anyway, but I don't know. Good luck with your truck and the dealer anyway. Let's see. Where are you? Almost got ill a little bit today there. Stuff like that happens. It's maybe carry a little flask so you can have a snort or something when that happens again. Let's see. I see Ron holding something up on the screen, but I can't read what it says. Sorry, Ron. Let's see. Bob, good to see you. And Ron, don't know about the plots. I would guess you can probably get a signal about the same as Wade, but it's just a matter of getting the antenna up high enough. Probably won't be a big problem. The biggest problem I found is if you have an unobstructed line of sight to the repeater. I sure wish I had that. Things changed over the years, but oh well. KD7ZYM and 7QO.
7QO, thanks for joining the net chat. And for ID, this is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net on the 08 machine. I'm Dave, KD7ZYM. Well, I'm located in Lake City, and I think I got happening here. I got 39 degrees on my outside thermometer. I had to replace the batteries in that today, and I think the hunter took the profile of the battery that was there. Although it has been running for about a year, so I guess I'm going to put the life expectancy with that. But let's see, the only thing of news was the endurance has been found that Shackleton ship that was lost at the South Pole, and that's been found. So that was kind of interesting, and they had some photos of it shot by underwater drones. So this is, again, Dave, KD7ZYM and Lake City. So let's go back up to Ron, KD7QKU.
Okay, thank you. KD7QKU here. Well, let's see, I didn't take any notes either. I was kind of looking around. Wade was thinking my camera wasn't working, so I don't know if it's working or not. Looks like it should. Everything should be plugged in. So anyway, I brought in all my ATV equipment, and I put it in that green plastic box that I had before that I used for mobile. So I set that on the table, and it's going to be smaller. And then I don't know what to do with TV sets. I may use that one little Taylor flat screen. I do still have my TV sets. I did put them in the back of the pickup. I was going to throw them away, but I guess maybe until I get it working, maybe I better use the old TV sets and see if I can make it work. So anyway, I put everything in the box, and I put in like a power strip so I can plug everything in and turn it on and off at once. Well, not turn it all off, but I can turn the power off and put up my old camera. And now I have to bring in my box of wires. Oh, when I was out there, of course, I found all my fittings, so that's encouraging. I have a box full of fittings to play with now. But I need to find all my wires and cables and then try to figure out how to hook it up again. I may be calling you, Dave. You may have to tell me how to do it. I'll take it a step at a time. And see, yeah, I had it, hooked up at home, but seems at Christmas. How many years ago did I hook it up? 10 years ago or something? So, anyway. So I guess I'll manage to get it. And, yeah, Bert, Wade, it sounds like it was nice that you helped your friend. And, yeah, false positive that would be kind of disconcerting, I think, again. I certainly don't want to get anything. All right, enough is enough. So back to that KD7QK.
KD7QKU, thanks for that. Let's go to Bob, K9QQ.
Okay, it's a smaller group. The circle more often. cold, yeah. You just remind me of the winters in Chicago. It's the only place I've lived outside of here. I grew up, born and raised here, and so the only time I've really experienced like below zero weather for any length of time. And a friend of mine had a good way of putting it. I was like this, like you'd be outside standing waiting for the elevator train, something like that, and you stand in the middle of your pants. You don't want your. So yeah, I remember those days not fondly at all. I'm happy to. Nope. Right there, cut it out. That's the same here, and I'm really looking forward to warmer weather. I sure will be going this year. Let's continue to be optimistic and hope that no more COVID strains decide to interfere with our plans. It'd sure be nice to get out and about again. So, all right, with that, back to you, Dave. Can I see you?
K9PQ. Yeah, look at short group checked in this evening. It should go fast. Let's go to Richard again. K7ITX.
Okay, there we go. Well, yeah, it is short, so I won't be too worried about being long-winded, I guess. Ron, hoping to see your any video that you might have. I saw you looking had a nice signal on the repeater via Grandstream, so Wade is evidently switching you in. Thank you, Wade. So really, I've just been kind of watching the political situation internationally, try to avoid the awful, sad, and I don't know, criminal, gory attack on civilian people in Europe. It's just unbelievable. So what I try to concentrate on are the talking heads and some of the weird things that are starting to come about because of the isolation that the business part of the world is laying on the Russian country. One thing that I've been kind of fascinated with is the dynamics of Russian air travel, and which essentially is coming to a complete halt. It was interesting to me to find out that in actuality Ireland, of all countries, I believe, owns most of the planes that operate in Russia. But interesting enough, Russia's going to be very careful about any of the Irish planes that they lease even leave the country. Not that they could even fly and land anywhere, but I think Ireland would like to have a designated airport for Russia to land these planes and store them until things get straightened out. And then on top of that, spare parts from Boeing are not going to be, we'll see. I don't know, there's always clandestine ways, or countries that are not participating, they could order spares and then, they could be a middleman for Russia at some point, but it isn't going to be easy at all. Right now, it's people that want to leave Russia. There's quite a few that would like to leave, but can't, and it's those that have
have, dual citizenship or visas already established, and a lot of the professionals, journalists and people like that are been able to get out of the country, not trouble-free, but they got out. And the other thing I found real fascinating is, of course, YouTube. I watch YouTube quite a bit, and by golly, the real smart YouTubers are using virtual private networks, VPNs, so that they can, in a clandestine way, report from Russia without Russia even knowing who it is or can't stop them. And of course, these YouTubers are sponsored by the VPN. They're very VPN. Let me rephrase that. These YouTubers are sponsored by the VPN companies that would like you and I to sign up with them. So it's a very interesting way to advertise, that's for sure. But fascinating. I've probably seen over 100 man-on-the-street interviews in Russia, and it's just, a good example would be the interview with the question of the day would be, are you afraid to speak out against the Russian government? And I've never heard I've never heard that so many times. But if you press this interview would press anyone that would be willing to speak a little bit more than yet, it was always a qualified net. Qualification typically would be that no, I'm not afraid to speak out against the government, but I just, right now is not a good time to talk about the special operation. They won't say war, they won't say invasion. Any discussion is always a special operation. Right now, I'm not afraid to talk against the government, but as far as the special operation goes, I'd rather keep that to myself right now. But then, that wasn't all of them. There were 20% or so that just flat out said, yes, I am afraid to speak out. and then, of course, those that said yet, a lot of them, no, I'm not afraid to speak out against the government, and this is what I think, and they give their peace of mind. So it was really pretty fascinating to hear all those folks. It's kind of like over here. It's a very polarized group. And last but not least, I was in for a real shocker today. I took a look at what the Redfin, one of the companies that they have online appraisals of property everywhere, and as of just, I'd say 2 1/3 months, the value of my house has gone up 10%. 10% in 2 1/3 months. That would be 50% per annum. It's so late. If you thought property values are going down, boy, I don't see any evidence right now. It took a whopping jump just this last week. But anyway, 10%, as far as Redfin is concerned, my house went up in 2 1/3 months. So with that, K7ZYM, K7ITX, back to Mac Control.
K7ITX, Richard, thanks for that. Let's go to WW7ATS.
Wow, what a short round we got going on here. And hey, Rich, it's really interesting what's going on over there, and it seems like maybe things are getting a little better over there. I noticed the stocks, the crypto market has reacted to the situation and all the sanctions and everything that they're doing now against Russia. I think now all the big companies are sanctioning Russia now. Starbucks, McDonald's, and then I found out Apple and a few other big companies are boycotting Russia, no longer selling goods to them. Yeah, it's really interesting how it's going to unfold. I'm hoping that it turns positive for Ukraine, and they end up winning the whole battle, and they can stay a sovereign nation. I'm just really hoping for that for one, and everybody gets back safely. Let's see, anything else I want to bring up? This today has just been crazy with all these things that have been going on. I had one incident I was working security-wise that I thought I had a unit that was coming from Russia, then I come to find that they were using a VPN. But then I looked further into it, and their IP that they were coming from wasn't Russia. It was just another false positive. So it's been kind of a crazy day, all the different weird things that have been going on. But I'm going to probably cut out here after this round, and I'm going to go maybe do a late kind of workout, because I've been trying to get to the gym at least 2 or 3 times a week now. So, all right, this is WW7ATS signing out.
Should stick around for a minute. Wait, I have a question.
T3 for you. Thanks for joining the net this evening. Looking forward to you coming back and joining us at the next net that we have. And get another ID out of the way here. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net on the 08 machine. I'm Dave, 87ZYM. Let's go to Covington, to Jim, N7QO.
K7HYB.
K7HYB, we got you down.
Ron wanted to catch Wade real quick.
Well, I think Wade's gone.
W7ATS, I'm still here. I'll wait around for just a second.
Well, I was just going to ask you about internet in Russia. The Ukrainians wanted them to shut down the internet, and apparently there's 3 providers in the world, and they all said they're neutral and they don't do that. But then I understand that China has an internal internet. They could isolate themselves from the world and they could operate their country. And I understand that a few years ago they went over to Russia and helped them set it up, and Russia was testing it. And it sounds, a lot of people expect Russia to pull the plug on the internet and not contact the world in a few days. So do you know anything about that?
I don't know anything about that. I've heard that. But I've heard that there actually is some companies that have been blocking like CenturyLink or their other name Lumen. They blocked them, and a few other network providers have blocked Russia. So I don't know. We'll see.
Okay, thank you. KD72KU clear.
Thanks for that. Let's go to Jim again in Covington, N7QO.
Thank you, Dave. M7QO. Well, let's see. Dick, you were talking about airline travel in Russia. Yeah, they have some cities where if you can't get on an airplane, you can't get there from here. I don't know what all is going on there, but that's certainly a serious problem for them, I would bet. Let's see, you were talking about Ireland. I seem to remember several years ago there was a big to-do. The U.S. wanted to prohibit certain carriers from operating into the United States, or someone wanted to prohibit that anyway. And it turned out that they sort of found a way to circumvent some of the rules by incorporating in Ireland. And it also offered some other legal advantages, I don't know, with regards to IRS taxes or duties. But I remember that was a big to-do a few years ago, maybe a decade ago or so. And also, Dick, property values. Yeah, that's surprising. I had no idea it was going up that fast. All I've got to say is watch out for our property taxes to go up. Not looking forward to that. Wade was mentioning about services being stopped to Russia, and my wife and I were sitting at the television earlier today, and we heard that also the Nestle chocolate company was doing the same thing, and my wife just about lost it. Chocolate? You can't do chocolate. I guess girls just gotta have chocolate. I don't know what it is, but let's see. And Iran, I know that in China, they definitely control the internet over there. I've tried to go online in China, and like Google does not work over there. Several other websites that I tried to look at, you just can't get there. And I'm sure it has something to do with the country. Don't know who all's watching what you're doing when you're in China. Kind of strange. I guess maybe that's kind of to be expected. Back to you, Dave, and 7QO.
And 7QO, and it's IV time again. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net on the 08 machine. I'm Dave, 87 CYM. So let's see, talking about Boeing not being able to supply parts to those jets that are maybe being deployed back to the battle line. But the problem is they're Soviet made, so I imagine the parts are probably handled by Russia rather than Boeing. So they'd have to get the parts from Russia to keep those planes in operating order. And let's see, the other thing I heard today was Italy has impounded a yacht that they believe belonged to Putin in a port in Italy at this point. And so they're still trying to verify the ownership of it, multi-million dollar yacht. And that's about all I've got to say from this point. This is Dave, 87 CYM. So let's go back up to the top of the list to Ron, KD7QKU.
Okay, KD7QKU here. When I saw pictures of that yacht, it's 411 feet long or something, and it has a helicopter landing pad in the front and one on the back, and then it has all these satellite domes on top and all these antennas and everything. It looks like a military ship. It's white, it's beautiful. They think it's his own personal retreat, and he escape the country, he could get on it and live on it, you know, and no one could find him, but I don't think that's true. Another thing that's been happening, Richard, and you're probably aware of it, is that a lot of the companies in Russia have borrowed money from banks in other parts of the world, and on March 17th, those payments are due. And now that we've shut off all the banking things over there, there's no way for them to hardly make those payments, and the banks don't want the rubles, and Putin has said that the country can't use dollars, it can only use rubles. So there's a possibility like Venezuela, or I can't say it, but some of those other countries that still get along with them, they might take their rubles and then they might give pesos. So it sounded like there might be a lot of pesos floating around in the world. So I don't know, it's crazy. But the internet thing I was talking about, apparently they have their own, both China and Russia have their own internal internet that doesn't require, whatever, I guess it's not exactly the internet, because it's not hooked to the outside world. So they can run their countries on a inside network and not be hooked into the world. And I read that Russia was testing theirs, and they were expecting them to pull the plug on the outside world. then, people in the country who have cell phones and know how to do it, they'll still be able, just like Richard said, they'll still be able to put out YouTube videos and things. So it's an awful interesting time we're in. If we get out of this without having a third world war, I think we're going to be awful lucky. So I don't know. Keep your fingers crossed. KD7QKU, back to that.
Go to multitude. Gary, K7HYB.
Yeah, K. I don't know, do I have the repeater? I do. Am I coming through pretty good there, Dave?
You're readable.
Okay. Well, I'm on the handy-talkie at the 706 today. And the 706 was causing interference on my converter for the repeater. And I've cleared that up, so I might go back to the 706 right now. I'm on my handy-talkie here, only running 5 watts. So, yeah, I think that the yacht was in France, and there's also one in Spain. I understand that's there to get refitted or updated, and the government has ceased it there. So, and they talked about they fired the whole crew for the yacht. Apparently, about 96 people would run that, that is on board to run the darn thing. And I guess not to worry, because there's a lot of shortage of those kind of people. They'll probably find jobs someplace else. Yeah, it's kind of a mess all the way around. And I guess the sad thing about it is, if somebody didn't want it, none of this would have happened. So that's kind of the short and the long of it. Anyway, I was up and way beyond tonight. I want to go down to Philip to learn for him for this weekend, but my son's got other plans. I don't want to go down by myself. So I was kind of hoping Wade was on and I could ask him and see if he's going to go. And maybe he just want to drive by and pick me up. I don't know, but I'd be somewhat on the way. So, got my weather station reprogrammed today. The wind gauges are working properly yet, and the temperature, I don't have the external temperature sensor programmed in. I better get that going, get that done. So, anyway, back to you, Dave, K7ZY and K7HYB.
K7HYB, thanks for dropping in. Let's go to Bob, K9PQ.
Okay, well, welcome to Gary. And Gary, I think you're mixing up Wade and Bert. Wade lives in Tacoma and would be not anywhere near on the way to Puyallup for you. Unless you've moved and I don't know about it. But Bert is north of you. Maybe you meant Bert. Well, hey, I want to change the subject. I'm getting depressed for all the war talk. This is kind of depressing too, frankly, but Russell Wilson is gone from the Seahawks, and that was a shock. That was just a complete shock. And Bobby Wagner as well, so really the end of an era. And it sure looks like a rebuild. I hope, usually they've got a plan. We sure don't know what their plan is right now, but I hope they have a plan, because it doesn't look very good where they're sitting right at this moment. I think they need to make more moves. So, yeah, I've got a Russell Wilson jersey, and I doubt I'll ever wear that again. I'm not going to burn it or anything, but I don't really have much reason to wear it anymore. So, with that, I'll send it back. K9PQ.
K9PQ is Bob, thanks for that. Let's go to Richard, K7ITX.
Look, I was really bummed out. I really like Russell Wilson. In particular, his volunteer work at Children's Hospital was really well known, and those are the people that are going to miss him a lot. But something tells me that Russell is still going to keep his friendship going at Children's. We'll see. But I'm not going to be surprised to see him in Seattle quite a bit just for that reason in itself. So, I don't blame you for wanting to change the subject on this terrible situation in Ukraine. I am fascinated by now, of course, the economics of a lot of this. The Russian banks are in huge trouble. There is one bank that in Russia, in fact, it's the biggest bank in Russia, and in fact, they even have branches, or charter banks in Eastern Europe and in Germany, and their stock is crashed. I mean, 97%, it's lost 90% of its value, this bank. And so the account holders not in Russia, but in these other countries, have put the bank out of business. And not because of the value of the stock or not because the bank had done anything wrong. It was a run on the bank. As we probably might remember from our Great Depression. But this I did not really, I guess I knew this. The account holders just simply by demanding all their money out of the bank or try to withdraw their money out of the bank all at the same time, that puts a bank out of business. They become insolvent. They can't pay everybody at the same time. That isn't how a bank works. And so that's a real concern in Russia right now. This bank must not go out of business. And I mean that even speaking about, let's say, an enemy. At this point, I guess Russia is our enemy. But a bank failure of what I'm thinking of, including their central bank, but the biggest bank, if it were to fail, the spin-off will be global. It's one thing to be at war with a country, but it's another thing for them to have just the entire economy collapse, because at least nowadays, everything being so global the way it is, just like the price of oil, things of that nature. It's not a pretty picture, that's for sure. So, anyway, I'm learning a lot, let me put it that way. I'm learning a heck of a lot, and I think we all are, and I think even the experts are. This banking thing is very intriguing to me, that the account holders, just simply by their lack of trust, can put a company out of business. With that, KD7ATM, K7ITX, back to net control.
K7ITX, thanks for that. Coming up next, let's go to Jim in Covington, N7QO.
N7QO, thank you, Dave. Well, the banks, they don't have enough money in each bank in order to pay everyone who supposedly has money there. So if everyone who has an account tried to withdraw everything that they had in their account, it won't work. There's not enough money in any of the banks. And I don't know exactly where it comes from. I'm not familiar with the banking chain of command, if it all goes through the Federal Reserve, if it's an FDIC insured bank, or I'm not sure if it's different if you're with a credit union. But banks can run out of money pretty quickly, and I know that if you want to withdraw a rather large amount, they want some notice in advance. I don't remember what it is, 48 hours or something like that. I've never had enough in a bank to worry about what the actual number is, but yeah, and I'm not sure about them going bankrupt or anything. It may be very different in Russia, but this is causing a lot of hardship on a lot of people. Oh well. Yeah, thanks for mentioning about the Seahawks there. My wife and I were displeased to hear about some of the changes. I guess maybe it might work out good in the end. I know poor Russell has been complaining for a while that the defense just wasn't all that great. He's been unhappy about getting sacked, and I don't know. I wish the Hawks luck. It sounds like they'll be getting a few good people and have a couple good draft picks as well out of the deal. And I hope Russell can get some decent dollars out of it as well. Back to you, Dave, and 7QO.
And 7QO, thanks for that. Yeah, this is Dave, 87ZYM in Lake City. Oh my. Country running out of money, and then we have a football player that's going to make lots of it. So, I think I heard a quote, just $20 million a year. And it's hard to live on that, but you got to realize you got to pay taxes. You'll have kind of down to what we're making. Not quite so. But anyway, he gets paid for his talent, and he certainly performed to show that he has the talent there. That's about it now. Sorry to hear that the banks are doing it, but I'm sure they have a whole different system than what we have. I don't think they have a Federal Reserve, but I imagine they have a lot of offshore banking facilities that hold a lot of Russian wealth. So electronic transfers is probably the way of people that are in the upper crust get their money when they need it. So, that's my two-bits worth. This is Dave, 87ZYM in Lake City. So let's go back up to Ron, 87CKU.
Okay, this is KD7QKU. Well, I didn't hear what you said about Russell's income. I missed that. But I'm under the impression that the Seahawks still owe him $20 million. So he, even though he's leaving, he still gets a payday of $20 million from the Seahawks. So I could live quite easily the rest of my life on $20 million, but I guess those guys need more than that. So yeah, no, I wasn't surprised that Russell left. I guess I was expecting it. I remember my son Mike and I, when we saw the last game, he for sure said this is the last time we'll see Russell in the Seahawks playing a football game. And he thought for sure that Russell would go to the East Coast because apparently that's kind of where his wife likes to hang out or has a home or makes her home in the East Coast. And so he was thinking that he was going to go there. I was a little surprised. I guess he went to the Broncos. I like the Broncos, so it'll be fun watching him play up in Broncos. But Denver's a colder place than Seattle, I think. I don't know. See, I've been to their stadium. I didn't get in. It was closed, but we drove there and looked at it. I can't remember if it's covered. Richard is shaking his head. I guess it's not covered, so he'll be playing outside in the snow. TV station, I have a few things to do, of course, wire it all up. But then I have to put up 3 antennas. I'm going to have to put a 2-meter radio in there, because if I'm in there, I won't be in here, and this radio's in here. So I'll have to put enough. I do have another ground plane, so I'll put up a little 2-meter ground plane. I think I'll put that on the top of the pipe, and then I'll put I guess the receive loop Yankee I'll put on next, and then I think the 70-centimeter beam I'll put maybe a foot below that. If I can get it up above the neighbor's roof, I think I'll have a good shot at it. So anyway, I think I have enough pipe to do it. So I'm going to have to buy a piece of coax. I cut the ends off a lot of my coax when I pulled it out of the house. I was afraid it would get stuck. And I guess it would have been fine if it would have gotten stuck and I would have left it, because it's kind of useless now. I don't know. Dave or somebody was telling me that end connectors are easy to put on. You just have to solder the tip. But I don't think I've ever put an end connector on. And I don't even think I have any. So anyway, I think I'll buy one piece of coax. I got to test it and make sure it works. And then if it works, I'll get a little more serious about it. I'm going to bring the coax in through the window to begin with. Not drill holes. So I'll bring it through the window to start with. So I got to, like I say, put up a 2-meter antenna, program the radio, and then make a test. Get somebody to watch and see if I can transmit. All right, back to that KD7QKU.
KD7QKU, Ron, thanks for that. Let's move on down to Gary at K7HYB in Monkey.
KD7ZY, I'm going to go K7HYB. Oh, I'm back on the 706 here. A little more power. I managed to figure out what was causing my interference. I was seeing the fan on my, I have a fan on my 706, which is an add-on. Some modifications of the unit. And it interferes with the picture on my computer that I get from the dial converter for the repeater. And turned out that it does this once in a while, every once in a while. Turns out that the ground on the coax between the converter and the RTO device that I have that goes into the computer was not making good connection, and I cleaned that up, so got that taken care of. Yeah, I was talking about dirt. I guess I did say Wade, sorry about that. And yeah, I was kind of hoping he'd be on here tonight. I was also looking for James to just slow the enroll that I mailed my dues. So that should be hitting his PO box here pretty quick. Anyway, not much for me tonight. Just thought I'd jump in and say hello and see what was going on. Sounds like it's a pretty kind of a slim night tonight with people. Sound like a lot of people got a bunch of stuff going on. So anyway, so do I. And I think it might get around to me again, but I think I'll back out of here. Good night, everybody. We'll see you on the next Saturday night. KD7ZYM, K7HYB 73.
Thank you, Gary, K7HYB. Let's go to Richard, K7RTX in Texas.
Okay, don't forget Bob. I thought he was before me, but whatever. You're not control host, so I do whatever I'm told. Let me put it that way. Yeah, it is. Gary, it was good to hear you. Yeah, and
Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm going to pass on the Hamfest myself. Not quite ready for that kind of an indoor group. But I don't know. They got high ceilings there, and I suspect it won't be as crowded as I've seen it to be. So anyway, I hope you can get a ride down there, Gary. So anyway, that's about it for me, other than just trying to keep busy, which is really easy to do. I've got plenty to do, more than enough to do. And I'm just kind of more or less counting down the days to the 31st, when I fly down to California and meet up with the sports car team. And we'll see what kind of video I can come up with for our nets. It's a lot of fun to get some good video, and if I can, I might even try to pull off a live broadcast. That'd be cool. So I'm not. Obviously, it would not be during the net. It would be a deal where I invite everybody to just check in and watch some of the events as I walk around and keep track of our car. So anyway, everyone have a great night. 73, K7ZYM, K7ATS. Back to net control.
K7ATS. So let's try Bob K9PQ. His video link came down. I don't know. Let's see if he's still there.
I'm here. Yeah, I haven't gone anywhere. I haven't been putting video out for the entire net on Zoom. Yeah, as far as Russell was going to Denver, it is cold there. He did play for Wisconsin, so I think he's certainly aware of playing in the cold. Maybe he doesn't feel like playing in the cold quite as much as he did when he was in college, but at least he knows what he's getting himself into. And I think the really big deal is there is emphasis around the league is that Denver really was just a quarterback from the Super Bowl, and now they've got that. So I think those are kind of the main reasons why he chose Denver. With his no trade clause, he definitely chose Denver. There were a few others that wanted him. Washington, I heard Philadelphia, I think maybe. There were at least two others that had come up with trades, and he nixed those trades and said yes to Denver. So that's where he wanted to go. Okay, 73 everybody, and I will send it back to net. K9PQ.
K9PQ, thanks for joining the net this evening. Let's go to Jim in Covington, N720.
N7QO, thank you, Dave. Well, Gary, just to let you know, yeah, your signal on when you're on your 706 is much better than on the HT. Let's see. Something else I was going to mention, but I forgot on that. I happened to glance at my thermometer, and right now I'm showing 35 degrees. I think I forgot what you said you had a couple miles down the road from me, but yeah, it's going to be chilly tonight. It's perfectly clear outside here, so we'll have some frost out there in the morning, and your pets might not want to go outside, just FYI. And I guess that's about it from me. Back to you, Dave, and 7QO.
And 7QO, and the net has to come to an end, unfortunately. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society. I'd like to thank the owners and operators of the SeaTac Repeater Association for allowing us to use WW7STR, the 147.08 repeater for our voice transmissions. for nets held on Wednesdays and Saturdays between 8 and 9 o'clock. So on behalf of the Western Washington Amateur Television Society, this is Dave, 87ZYM, signing off at 9 o'clock. Good evening all.